Hi, folks. I'm Bryce. I'm from Microsoft. I want to get a picture. Everybody smile. Nice. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. I'm thrilled to be back here. It's always great to engage this community. I typically hang out in tech worlds. I like that when I come here, I'm the Microsoft guy. I think that's hilarious. Because where I work, I am one of hundreds of thousands of Microsoft guys. So I don't mind doing that when I'm here. And so we're thrilled today to talk you through some of this stuff. I do like to joke, and I know it bothers him, but I'm opening for Max today. Max's stuff later today is going to be great. I'm really excited for the demos. But what I'm going to do today is kind of take you through a little bit of this journey that we're on with the supported employment community. And the reason why I want to do this is I really want us to kind of understand how this community works so that I can go back and pitch to my teams how to support this community better. So one of the things that I always want to kind of tell people is that if I don't understand this community, if I have it wrong, then Microsoft has it wrong, right? And I don't want to say that in a scary way. I want to say that because I'm here to basically learn and understand what you need so that we can go build it. So we start all of our things using some data to try to frame some of these things. And I'm not going to go through this data in any great detail. People can get the slides later if they want it. But everyone kind of knows that overall in the US, the disabled are about half as employed as non-disabled people. And what's interesting is that you've seen recently in some of the work of an organization called NTIDE, they've actually broken it out by disability. So this data is some of the things that I use internally to kind of tell this story. But I also use local data. This study by the Arc of King County was a wonderful study. It really gives us that contextual information to understand what people's needs are and frame it for supported employment, but there's a lot of stuff in here about independent living as well. And I know I'm going fast. It's on purpose. We're not really going to draw on this data too much. What's interesting to me about this report is that according to this one report by the Residential Information Systems Project, about 7.39 million people in the US who could be eligible for DVR services, but only 1.58 million of those people are actually known by DVR. But that's not the really interesting part to me. Like that 1.58, I will tell you as someone at Microsoft who's used to dealing with hundreds and hundreds of millions of people, 1.58 doesn't sound like a lot. But if you put it in context, there's two pieces of information I want to put in context here. I want to put into context that those folks, that 1.58 million, that is more than the entire law enforcement workforce in the US. So my colleagues, if I said law enforcement as a sector, they would take that seriously. I need them to take supported employment as a sector seriously, right? DSPs are the largest workforce in the US, right? How are we addressing this audience and how are we empowering them to do more, which is our mission. So you may have seen Copilot down in some of the, down in the expo hall today. There was a session this morning on ChatGPT. Copilot and ChatGPT use the same technology by OpenAI. Just to give you a quick sort of demo of this video here, the way that you engage with Copilot is you treat it like an assistant. You don't treat it like a search engine. So you say things like, I work in the supported employment sector. How can Copilot help supported employees and job coaches? And it goes away and it thinks about it for a minute. And it comes back with its idea of an answer, right? So this is just, I don't want to pretend that this is like amazing information or stuff that you wouldn't know. But what I want to show people is that these tools are different than search. You're not finding a list of links. You're getting the answer you want. And you can engage with the system to refine it, right? That's the promise of generative AI. So just that quick demo there. Great. So I run a facility at Microsoft called the Inclusive Tech Lab. If you'd ever like to come to Redmond and visit the Inclusive Tech Lab, come see me afterwards. I'll give you a card. We'll hook you up. You can come visit. We host dozens of transition programs. We host transition programs probably a few times a month. They'll come in to kind of talk to us. And lately we've been talking to them about how generative AI can do things like cover letters and help people kind of expand out their resumes. And we're really there to show people assistive technology, because I think one of the things for me, as someone who's worked in assistive technology for many, many years now, the biggest challenge I think we have is the awareness of what's available. You know, there might actually be technology available to you now for very little cost or free that you have access to, that you might not know about. And so that's one of the challenges that I need to kind of take on in our work. That's why I come to these events, to kind of understand how the community works, because we'll just be back at, you know, in Redmond, kind of just building tech away, just building. It's important for us that people know and understand the best ways to use it. So I'm going to play this video. This is Kelly. She works in a transition program in Shoreline, and this is something that we asked her and some of her students how they thought about Copilot. It's a really good little video.
As a teacher, I have been using Copilot. I'm learning about it as well. Sometimes I ask it to help me make lessons. Sometimes I play around with it, being like, okay, could my student use this to help them? It'd almost be like a tutor for them to solve math problems or rewrite emails, things like that. Create images for different activities I need. Nice. So, this week I did a lesson on safety at home. And so I had Copilot, the designer, make me a room filled with common safety hazards within a bedroom. That's cool. And I made it the pixel version so that the students would, make it more video gamey, things like that. And then with the students, some of the things that we've been doing specifically are using it to write emails. That's one of the big things that we're doing. And really, ideally, trying to use it for it to be like a tutor, but that is sometimes a little bit more difficult because it's a lot of concepts in one, but it's also a brand new learning tool. So, trying to sort through that as a teacher is, trying to figure that out for students. Another thing that we've used is it being like a math solver, kind of what I was saying earlier, where I say, hey, you can input this word problem that I wrote in here, and you can have it show you the steps on how to solve it, which then I don't have to do because I have so many students. So them learning how to utilize those things, just giving them opportunity to explore and use Designer or use the recipe maker or planner. So just providing them opportunities, and also me modeling for them, hey, I'm using Copilot right now to help me write this email to your families. And we did an opportunity we created. Our first time was making an email for a food drive that we wanted to do. And so we had them all together input, okay, when is the food drive? Where is it? What are we doing there? And that became our announcement that we sent to everyone around, hey, we're hosting a food drive. So that was just really cool for them to be able to gain independence, because a teacher, a parent, a caregiver, a job coach isn't always going to be there. So I really think that it provides just more self-determination, self-actualization, self-realization. All those things are provided in Copilot and AI tools. And all the research says that the more independent you are, the more self-determined you are, the happier you're going to be. And that's what's important to me.
You told me you had a job interview coming up soon. Can you think of any ways that Copilot could help you prepare for your job interview?
I think Copilot, I can ask question that I can write down if I get stuck on something that I couldn't think of.
Okay.
But for tomorrow, for the interview, I think it's going to help me to answer all the questions.
Nice.
To get hacked. And then,
yeah. So you could use it to prepare.
Yeah.
So, some recipes.
Recipes.
Yeah.
Cool. You like to cook?
Yeah, every once in a while.
Nice. Yeah. I think that's a great use of Copilot. Cool. But you also do some singing, right?
Yes.
So can you think of any ways that you'd want to use Copilot for singing?
I would like to use Copilot for singing to improve my soprano voice.
Okay. By giving you tips on how to practice?
Yes.
Very cool.
I think, of course, with every new thing that comes into the world, there's like lots of questions. But I do think that we really need to make sure that when these policies and laws are being made, that they do make sure to think about people with these, especially with intellectual disabilities or physical disabilities, that, they can't use their hands as well. I mean, things like this. They are made sure that these policies don't affect them in a negative way. And I really hope that it can really be seen as more of a tool for this community, with all the things that might come up in the future.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a long video. I appreciate you all sitting through. I love that video. I love that Kelly in her class, and it's really important for us to work with transition students. As someone who works in technology and who works in these transition things, one of the big things that I've kind of identified is that you obviously get a lot of support from the IEP and the assistive technology professionals and therapists that you have. You go through school, you go to a transition program, that support's still there. You leave the transition program, it goes away. There's a bit of a gap, right? And so how can we as Microsoft look at that gap, understand that gap as someone goes from school to employment, and figure out the ways to kind of maybe reduce that stressor of switching technologies all the time. So I did this study after kind of coming here last year, where I talked with a whole bunch of job coaches from Washington, Oregon, and Tennessee. And again, I'll hand out these slides kind of afterwards, but like you can, if you actually have like the pro version of ChatGPT, you could actually go in and query all these transcripts. I've anonymized them all. You can't really get any data from them. But this is kind of what I learned to build out these scenarios that I'm about to show you. So when I talk about scenarios, these are stories that we use to tell our engineering team what we're building and why we're building it, right? And so the ones that I'm going to share with you today are centered around this fictional team of Shuling and Luis, right? And the scenarios are pathway to autonomy, being present, dial M for mentor, and from reports to rapport, right? These are the big titles. So let me kind of go into them. But I just want to stress again, this is not a pitch. This is not a promise. This is not a promotion. This is me coming to you as a community, trying to live the values of nothing about us without us. This is me coming to work with you to try to make sure that we are headed in the right direction, that we are headed in a useful direction, right? So you can tell me that this is right. You can tell me that this is wrong. This is exactly why I did it, right? So let's talk about, I'm going to just read these. I'm sorry, it'll probably be a little bit boring, but they are really quite detailed. So pathways to autonomy, redefining client onboarding and oversight. Luis assists clients like Shuling in adapting to new workplaces. This starts with walkthroughs to understand job duties and expectations. Traditionally, this meant taking extensive notes and photos, trying to capture every essential detail for later reference. Arduous, inefficient. One consistent challenge is that clients' employees often finish tasks without moving on to other work, leading to downtime and uncertainty. They cannot take initiative because of uncertainty or lack instruction, and this impacts their performance as well as their competence, right? Employers need self-sufficient team members, but Luis can't always be there to guide his clients. Clients feel unsupported and employers feel in doubt. Luis knows he needs to find a better way to clearly and effectively provide branching guidance that Shuling can easily interpret. Okay? Solution. Now Luis brings his client Shuling to her first day at the local Safeway. Together with her manager, they tour the store, outlining Shuling's duties and expectations. As they move through the aisles, Luis records the session, capturing detailed video. This isn't just for record keeping. It will allow Luis to create a comprehensive guide and task analysis. New features, enhanced by Copilot, can transform recorded content into multiple variations of clear and appropriate detailed documentation. It transcribes video, it extracts images, it helps Luis craft detailed task analysis and social stories tailored to Shuling's understanding. Whenever Shuling needs a refresher or faces a new situation, she can consult these guides. Thanks to Copilot, she is never stuck. Shuling steps up her role with more confidence and independence, reducing her reliance on constant supervision. Shuling will fade from supported employment services with sureness. So, aspirational, probably tons of holes. There's probably stuff in there you're telling me that I'm missing, which is great. I want to hear it. But I just kind of want to kind of reiterate again. I'm presenting these to people who will make decisions, who don't necessarily know about this world, but I need to know about this world. So that's one of the scenarios that we're looking at. How was that? Did that feel all right? You know, nods? No nods? Uh-oh. Okay. Being present, the balancing act of contemporary job coaching. Post-pandemic, Luis's firm, like many in the support employment industry, is grappling with staff shortages. Luis is swamped by an ever-growing client list and larger territory to cover. He's stretched thin, juggling increased paperwork and the need to be essentially omnipresent. His clients rely heavily on his support to thrive in their jobs, but he can't always be there physically. Maintaining a consistent connection with his clients is crucial for their gradual independence, yet increasingly challenging. Luis found a lifeline in the form of new and existing digital tools within Microsoft 365, particularly Microsoft Teams. These tools enable him to maintain a close connection with his client without needing to be physically present. Even in his absence, clients can reach out to Luis whenever they need through text, voice, or video messages, and he responds as promptly as possible. His clients are empowered to use these tools because of a new version of Microsoft Teams that can be customized for individuals, allowing them to remove the things that they don't need so they can focus on what they want without being overwhelmed. Many of you probably use Teams. It's overwhelming. Like, let's just be honest, right? It's overwhelming for all of us. So this is me that kind of needs to go to that team that develops Microsoft Teams and put it in context to them why it's overwhelming, right? Especially for this community. So all communications are archived securely, allowing Luis to use AI for summarizing and addressing requests efficiently. Using the newest Microsoft Copilot tools, he can transform this correspondence to create guide, FAQs, and resources, benefiting his clients and colleagues. Luis sees immense potential in these tools and hopes for wider adoption within his firm and the industry to streamline operations and enhance support. Nice. So, how's that one? Yeah? All right. You can talk to me afterward. All good. Dial M for mentor. Enhancing remote support for supported employees. As Shuling gains confidence in her role, she becomes increasingly self-sufficient, reducing her reliance on her job coach, Luis. However, independence does not mean isolation. Shuling still encounters moments when she needs guidance. She frequently encounters questions that her store manager or her colleagues can't resolve. While Luis is her go-to for these dilemmas, his availability isn't always guaranteed. She hesitates, unsure if she should proceed with her task or wait for Luis's input. This waiting game can lead to delays and pile up unanswered questions and a sense of frustration. The need for timely support is clear, yet the solution isn't always at hand. It's not just Shuling who needs Luis's guidance, but her family also needs to ask Shuling's job coach for questions about her benefits, things like that. Things that, again, you all know. To bridge this gap, when Shuling or her family pose a question to Luis via Microsoft Teams and he doesn't respond within 15 minutes, an AI bot deployed by Luis's supported employment firm springs into action. This Luis bot attempts to provide answers by sifting through past communications and accessing various documents and data repositories. It presents solutions to Shuling in a tone and a manner pre-configured by Luis to communicate in a manner tailored to Shuling's needs, ensuring a sense of continuity and personalized support. While the bot endeavors to resolve Shuling's queries, it also reminds her of the importance of verifying the answers with Luis until he becomes available. Okay? Nice. This interaction history is fully accessible to Luis, allowing him to review and refine responses as needed. Over time, this system fosters a sense of self-reliance in Shuling and her family, and they gradually learn to direct simpler questions to the bot directly, efficiently managing their queries and becoming more independent. This evolution allows Shuling to fade from supported employment to a position where she can thrive autonomously. Can say that word for me. Cool. All right, last one, and then I'm gonna be thrilled to bring on Max. Luis is swamped with paperwork. It feels like he's sinking. Every day he's buried under a mountain of status reports, case notes, shift notes. The worst part, Much of it feels like he is rewriting the same things over and over. The redundancy is mind-numbing. He's got to submit detailed reports to the DDA to secure funding for his clients, ensuring that they continue to receive the support that they need. Then there are the shift notes, vital for seamless handover to his colleagues, but oh so repetitive. Luis is about empowering his clients, getting them gainfully employed, and fostering independence. He's itching for a smarter way to tackle this paper beast so that he can focus more on the human side of his job, actually being there for his clients. Luis can't help but think there's got to be a smarter way to handle this. Solution. Modern AI tools from Microsoft 365 help Luis become a maestro of efficiency. With Microsoft Copilot, he's transforming lengthy client interactions from emails, chats, and calls into crisp, clear summaries in a tone and style that he needs. Even past reports give him data that can feed into the task at hand. These aren't just time savers, they're gold mines of information feeding directly into the handover notes for his team. It's like he's conducting an orchestra of data, seamlessly transferring these insights across platforms from Microsoft 365 to Salesforce.com, where Luis submits his DDA rewards. Okay. Luis is all about sharing. He starts hosting lunch and learns with his colleagues, spreading the word about these techniques. Community of job coaches start buzzing with excitement as they share tips and tricks among themselves. What really makes Luis smile is the balance he struck, keeping the info safe and secure, yet incredibly flexible and accessible. It's not just about cutting down the paperwork, it's about empowering his whole team to be more connected, informed, and focused on what truly matters, supporting their clients to the full. So, those are the scenarios I wanted to share. Please come see me afterwards and tell me, again, what you thought was right, what you thought was wrong. And these are just a sort of a snippet of this research. I didn't want to bore you reading scenarios the whole time. But it gives you an idea of how we think about how generative AI can make things more efficient. And with that, I kind of want to bring up Max. I'm going to bring up Max. Max is going to take you through this wonderful demo that he's had. So where I'm theoretical, Max is going to be practical. And I really appreciate your time here today. Thank you.
How's everybody doing? So just to get this off to the right foot, I'm used to talking to people one-on-one, so this is new to me, okay? So I'm used to being with a person that I'm working with one-on-one and doing all of the things with them. I'm going to get this off there, so let me navigate this a little bit here. This helps. So what my presentation is about PowerPoint is an assistive technology tool. So last year I was here at the summit and Bryce was downstairs and they were doing a technology expo, for lack of better words, and they had all these different people and they were showing all these different tools that they were using at the time to assist people. And I was sitting next to Janice, who's sitting right over here, and I kept saying, I can do that with PowerPoint. I can do that with PowerPoint. And I was just talking to her. And Janice is like, raise your hand and tell him, raise your hand and tell him. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. No. And she finally convinced me to raise my hand. So I raised my hand and I told Bryce, I said, Bryce, everything that that you guys have demonstrated today, I can do with PowerPoint. I have been doing it with PowerPoint since COVID started. And that's what, 3 years at that point? And Bryce didn't believe me. It was obvious that Bryce did not believe me. But he was very gracious and he said, come up and talk to me after the presentation. And I came up and I gave him my card and we contacted each other afterwards. And he saw that, in fact, I was doing everything that they said they were doing with all these expensive tools and expensive programs. We were doing it with PowerPoint. It's not as effective in some ways. It takes a little bit more work on our part to do it. But as far as the person that you're helping is concerned, it's just as effective and it works just as good. And that's what I'm going to show you today. So, hold on. So, the thing that I want to give you today is if I can give you 10% of the passion that I have for what I do, which is a lot, or if I can show you one thing that's going to change somebody's life, that's all I want for today. So let's go. So this is really designed for people that don't have assistive technology. Maybe they can't afford it. We know that if you're in school, they give you things for free to use in school, and then you get out of school and all that dries up, right? We've all been there, and they no longer have these assistive technology tools. So on the next screen, I am going to show you a single word. Please visualize this word using your preferences, not anybody else's, yours. Ready? Look. You all got your visual of that? All right, here we go. Now what I would like you to do, I would like you to just turn to the person sitting next to you and using only one word, relay your definition of a pizza. One word only. Go ahead.
No, say Brian and Gargoyle. I was so thinking Brian did but the different and he got it all. It's been like the bubble head in and out. The other and I drive the cat video.
All right, I hear more than one word here, people. All right, so let's come back to it. You ready? What PowerPoint does is it allows you to have access to literally thousands of pictures of pizza. You're able to talk to the person sitting in front of you, and they're able to point to that picture and tell you exactly what that pizza means. Does anybody in here believe that with one word, they were able to tell the person sitting next to them what their definition of pizza was? If you do, please raise your hand. Okay, sir, your definition of pizza. What is it? Pepperoni. So is it thin crust or thick crust? So you just lost your one word. Right? Do you like lots of cheese? Do you like extra pepperoni? Right? All of those things are important, right? How about you? Yeah, it's pepperoni, but is it thick or thin? Do you like a lot of pepperoni, a little pepperoni? Do you want extra cheese? You got to use one more word, right? It's not one word. Our clients and the people we serve sometimes only have one word. Sometimes they don't have any words. And they're trying to communicate to us what they want, and we're trying to understand desperately what they want. And we're failing. We're failing because we're using words, and they can't use words. A picture's worth 1,000 words. We've all heard that, right? Guess what we're looking for? A picture only has to be worth one word. That's it. A picture only has to be worth one word. So this tool, the PowerPoint can be used as a great way, and it creates hundreds of different tools. I'm going to show you very few of them because I don't have a lot of time to show you them all. I will say that I have never found any tool so far that PowerPoint has not been able to access communication-wise or by turning on features. And it requires turning on features, which Bryce and I are talking about, turning on features, accessing things to make it more accessible and more easy to use, but it will do it. So we're going to go through some of those now. So storyboards. Let's start with the storyboard, right? As you can see on my screen there, it's how to make pizza dough. If I click this screen right here, it's going to start this video, hopefully.
Hello, I'm Jakuja Cracker Jacks. Today I'm going to show you how to make the easiest but best pizza crust there is.
And we're not going to play the whole thing. I just want to demonstrate that I could do it, right? But this is a video that is going to literally walk them through step-by-step how to make a pizza, right? So that instantaneous. You put this in the PowerPoint. The beauty of this is once it's in the PowerPoint, how many of you have a phone? How many people you serve have a cell phone or a tablet? This can be shared with their cell phone and tablet, and now it's theirs. They have it. We don't have it. They have it. They have it on their phone. They have it on their tablet. They have it on their computer. So here we go. Here's the next. So this is a storyboard, all right? The beauty of this is it's going to talk to you. So when you click on number 1 here, and this is what Bryce and I are working on, hopefully, is to make this a 1-click. Right now it's a 2-click. So I've clicked here, and then you see this little box up here in the corner. You can see it where my mouse is. And if you listen,
The dough following the recipe in the video. Be sure to pause the video between steps so you can keep up.
right? And then they can play the video. They can click the video and click it on and off, and they can walk themselves right through making the pizza dough. Go to step 2, click it again.
The jar of red sauce to the center of the dough and spread evenly towards the outside edge of the shell. Then place the pepperonis on the pie evenly. Finally, cover the pie with the cheese. Be sure to spread evenly to the edges, covering the pie.
The beauty of this is I made these really short because it's for demonstration purposes only, but you can literally, if this was a true storyboard, it would be a lot more pages, and you can just add them in as you need. Step 3.
Turn on the oven, and when the temperature reaches 400 degrees, place pizza in the oven and cook for 20 minutes.
Step 4.
Ready, take out of the oven and enjoy your finished pizza.
So what we've just done is we made a storyboard. I don't even have to be in the room with this person to be able to make the pizza. I don't have to be there. They can do it completely by themselves. And if I am in the room, I don't have to step by step it. All they got to do is touch this and walk themselves through the process of doing it. Next thing I'm going to show you is a choice board. And again, I got a pizza theme here, as you can tell. I love pizza, by the way. I eat it daily, as you can see. So we got a choice board here. And the beauty of this is, again, it's going to talk to the person. So this is now on their iPad. Imagine that screen is now their iPad. And they're at their favorite pizza place, and they're with their person that they're going to do. And they want to order their own pizza, right? There we go.
Slice of pizza.
What do you want? They want a whole slice?
Pizza hot.
Do they want some breadsticks?
And six.
Maybe I want to add some onions.
Yes.
Right? I'm not hungry. I don't want to be here. I'm not hungry.
Hungry.
Right? Do you want breadsticks with that? Yes or no? Right? What do you want to drink?
Yes.
Right? Completely independent, able to do it completely independent using PowerPoint. How many of you guys have PowerPoint at home, right? Raise your hands if you guys got PowerPoint on some device at home. So basically what I'm telling you is, this is free. You've already got what you need to do it. You don't have to buy anything, right? So next slide here we're going to talk about is task guides. So we do task guides at work all the time. I'm trying to stick with my pizza theme, so here's my task guide for pizza. And this is a different way to do it. So the last, you've been hearing this computer voice, right? When I click the button, you hear computer voice. Now you're going to hear my voice or their voice. So they can do it in their own voice. This one's mine.
All ingredients together.
Okay? So now I can be their voice doing it. And these pictures are very generic, but these could be pictures that you take of them themselves in the place that they're going. Right? Skip to number 3. Well, skip to number 4 because number 3 doesn't seem to want to go. Well, something's going on here. All right, here we go. Number 5. Okay, right. It's hard to see because I got to put my glasses on and off. I'm trying not to do it.
I'm ready.
Right? Who doesn't love Julia Roberts?
Eat your pizza. Then have a great day.
So we just literally walked them through the entire process. I didn't put them all, but literally would walk them through step by step. It could be their voice. It could be Julia Roberts' voice. It could be your voice. You can add whatever voice you want in there. Right? So now some training assistant. This is where the passion takes in. So pardon me if I get a little bent up. So when COVID hit, I've been thinking about this for person-centered planning. So who knows what person-centered planning is? Raise your hand. So I created this because I'm a person-centered planner. I love it. It's what drives me. It's what wakes me up in the morning. But I can't draw. I just can't do it. But I can do pictures, right? So that's where the basis of this went. And then we went into COVID. And who remembers COVID? It was horrible, right? 1 minute we're with our clients. We're going up to see them. Great. It's wonderful. Next minute, we can't go up and see them. So this is a job site evaluation. And what I did is I went on Zoom and I discovered very quickly that when you're on Zoom meetings, and I think everybody else in here discovered that, they were not engaging us. They were not interested in being on Zoom. But if you started doing PowerPoint with them in conjunction with Zoom, they were all in. They were ready to go. So what I did, this is a job site evaluation. So what I did is created this with the person. This was not created without the person. So the person that I was helping, him and I sat down and created this. And it was how to do a job site evaluation. We went through all the steps, as you can see up here, of how to do a job site evaluation. We did that on Zoom. He went, I said, hey, do me a favor, because he was going out at that point. I wasn't. I have health concerns, so I was locked in the house. He was going out. So I said, hey, do me a favor, go out and complete a job site evaluation. He went out and completed a job site evaluation at Walmart. And he did this. So he went and he observed the garden center at Walmart. He talked with Joe F. at the garden center. And these are the things that he came back, and him and I created this whole little thing here, as you can see, 2/1/21, about what it was that he saw at Walmart. What he liked is in green. What he didn't like was in red. And if you look down at the bottom here, it says he really didn't want to work at Walmart. It was too busy. So this gentleman has 2 degrees, and he has autism, and he struggles to talk to people. So I get a call. Sorry. Talking about people very quickly. So I get this gentleman, and he finally decides he actually does want to go to work at Walmart. He goes and applies. I didn't even know he applied. I get this call, and he's got an interview. So we go in, they give him the job. Door greeter at Walmart, 2 degrees. 2 degrees. Door greeter at Walmart. I get a call about a week later from his dad. Why did you go get this guy a job at Walmart? He has 2 degrees. And I said, I didn't get him a job at Walmart. He got himself a job at Walmart. Why don't we get him on the phone with us and ask him why he did it? And he gets on the phone and he says, I got the job at Walmart because I can't talk to people and I can't be successful at my job until I can. So he chose to go to Walmart and be a door greeter. And he talks to everybody. And now, now he's getting ready to go get that job anyway. Yeah. Mercedes, I didn't think about the emotional part when I took to do this. Here's another one. This gentleman here, I met this gentleman. When I met him, he could not talk to me. I would go out and spend 2 hours with this gentleman, and he would say 2 words to me. He had so much social anxiety that he literally couldn't speak. I worked with him for about 3 years, and then COVID hit. And then I started doing PowerPoint with him in conjunction with Zoom. And at that point, in the first meeting, I literally told him, I've got to go. I have other people I have to go see. We've been on here for 2 hours. I couldn't get him to shut up. He just kept going and going and going. So this is him. We were going to get him a job. Remember, severe anxiety. So for months, he wanted to work at Burger King. Burger King wouldn't hire him. So we were like, hey, how about McDonald's? And they were like, my husband is a McDonald's connoisseur. They know us by our first names. He is there every single day for breakfast. And so we had a really good working relationship with the manager. So I talked to the manager and said, hey, I got this guy. He really wants to work in a fast food restaurant. Can we just take 2 months, slow this process down so that I can get him ready so that he can be here? So what we did for 2 months is this right here. We would meet and we would go over this. We would put up pictures of McDonald's. We would talk about the tasks that he was going to do. As you can see, some of this has been removed. Some of it's been removed because I took out the pictures, but we would go, there was pictures of the manager. This is going to be your manager, her name is this, and we're going to be talking to her. We did this for 2 months. He walked into McDonald's his first day and was fine. He was able to function completely. Fast forward a year, he doesn't want to work at McDonald's. He's still bugging me every day. I want to work at Burger King. I want to work at Burger King. And after a while of this, I'm in Burger King asking the manager over and over, can we please get him a job at Burger King? Finally, one day I'm like, I can't take this anymore. So I walk into Burger King and I said to the manager, can you please do me a favor? If I bring him in here, will you please just tell him that you're not hiring and you're not going to hire him at Burger King so he can move on? And she looked at me and she said, if he wants to work there that bad, I'll hire him. So, yeah. So she hired him. And as we speak, I'm not sure if it happened yesterday or today, he became Employee of the Month at Burger King. And the other part of that that's really funny is when I walked in his first day, because he shows up to everything very, very early. So his first day, now mind you, he wouldn't say anything to me and it took me 2 hours to just communicate with him. I walked in his first day and he was already there. I was 15 minutes early, he was there. And him and the manager are standing behind the counter and they're just talking. And I looked at him and I'm thinking, wow, this is pretty cool, right? So I looked at the manager, I said, how's everything going? She's like, he's great, he's doing wonderful, everything's good. So I looked at him and I said, hey buddy, do you need me here? And he looked up like this and he looked back and he said, no, I don't think I do. And my heart broke. For 2 reasons. He didn't need me. 6 years, that's a long time to spend investing in people. He didn't need me that moment, but he still needs me. He comes to the office and talks to me and says something, and it's great. But he achieved his goals. He was independent. He went from literally not being able to drive a car or talk to being able to drive a car, show up to work, self-advocate, do all the things that he needed to do. And it's a direct result of this program, because what you're doing is you're meeting that person one-on-one, and you're using pictures that they choose. It's 100%. We talk about the power of choice. This program is 100% choice. They pick pictures. They pick what's going on the screen. I don't. They do. And then we have that conversation. So it's a discovery tool also. Like I said, it does a lot of things. So remember I talked about it being a person-centered service to a person-centered plan tool. This is my person-centered plan, so I can put it up there because it's me. But this is person-centered planning, and it's nuts and bolts. And as you can see, this is my life up into the point where I started working at EFI, greatest place in the world to work. Just saying. So this is my life up until that point, right? And as you can see, there's a lot of different things that led me to the point. And I talked to my mom one day, and I said, I wish I'd have found this 30 years ago. And my mom said, you would not have been any good. I had to go through the life experiences that I went through to be able to get to the point where I could do what I do today, to have the compassion. And it's not about the money. It's about the compassion. It's about the driving people forward. It's about going home at the end of the night and knowing that you changed somebody's life for the better forever. Forever. You changed it for the rest of their lives. They are better because of something that you helped them accomplish. So that's person-centered planning. Next one here is just a conversation. I bring this one up because it leads us into the next one. So as you can see here, this is a conversation with somebody, right? All these pictures of fruit actually had the person holding the fruit, and we sat and talked about the fruit. This person is near and dear to my heart. She's a sweetheart. If you ever in EFI office and I'm in a meeting and she comes walking in, the meeting will stop because she's going to come in and give me a big hug, right? I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. It could be the president of the United States. She don't care. She's going to come in and give me a hug, right? So we built this relationship, which is really great. But here's the kicker. She doesn't speak English, and I don't speak Spanish. So look at the slide. So what I did was, and like I said, these pictures aren't going to match up because I had to replace her pictures with the other ones. But so what I did was I did it in English, and then I translated into Spanish. I can't get to work here. Hold on. So Spanish. So here it is in Spanish. And by the way, pizza in Spanish is pizza. Just saying. So you can see that it works as a language translator. And that leads us into this next quirk right here, which is this. It is a language translator. How many languages do you think it'll translate into? Anybody got a guess? How many? 35. More. 150. At this point, right now, it will translate into 150 different languages. Here they are listed out, and it takes 2 pages, right? So here they are listed out. Is it perfect? It is not perfect. I don't think there's a language translator out there that is perfect. But for what we're doing it for, the level of communication that we're using it for, or that I'm using it for in particular, it's great. Because it's going to translate simple words and phrases for me pretty accurately. That leads me to where I'm at right now. So last week I got a call. And it was from FCS, actually, Foundation of Community Supports. You guys know what that is? And it was a new person coming in, and they wanted to know if I'd take them on to the client. And it's like, yeah, okay, I can do that, because I never say no. And they get all done, and they say, you know what? Here's the problem. She speaks Swahili. I don't speak Swahili. But guess what? Swahili. It's right there in yellow. This does. So I can start that whole process again and help her get a job through using Swahili. Which brings us to this. So as you can see here, some of these features are turned on. You have to add the languages, which I have not added all these languages, but it translates into all these languages. So I can type it in English, and I can simply push a button, and I'll demonstrate this for you a little bit. So you go over here to review. You hit this little button right here. It says translate, and it brings up the translator right here. Simply highlight the text. There it is right there, and I just translate it into French. I would like a slice of pepperoni pizza, and I don't know what that says. I can't read the French, so. But there it is. So it will do that as well. These are the things that are really important with this thing. So that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up what I've got. I can open it up for questions for Bryce and I, if you'd like. If you're interested in learning more about it, because I can't show you how to do this because we'd be here for like a week, me showing you how to do all these different things, because you got to turn on different features. Bryce and I are working on getting some of the features to be automatically turned on and simplified for us. But if you're interested in more, just write down that email address. I'd be happy to help you. Is there any questions? Go ahead and raise your hands. Are you gonna bring them a mic or? Oh. I got a mic. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
This is for Bryce, and it's a real-life situation. Where I work, we use Teams for my organization to communicate together once a week.
Yep.
And we record those meetings, and sometimes they involve, amongst other things, videos and PowerPoints and PDFs and things attached to them. Teams will eventually archive those. And the challenge is that I'm getting this from my boss. The challenge is trying to recover those archived meetings. Is there an easier way to do it? She has to contact our IT department, and they have to know very specific information in order to be able to get the proper one.
Right.
And the challenge is that it's easy to give a general information, but that would be so many different ones.
Yeah, and I mean, the reason why your IT department archives them is because it costs them money, to store all this stuff. So it's understandable, but why don't I talk to you about it afterwards? Because the thing about it is everyone's sort of corporate setup is different. I will tell you that in mine, I can go into a recording afterwards and basically say never archive, but that's the way that we work and how we do it. So I'm happy to track that down for you.
Anyone else? Yes.
So when you were doing this for your participant, did you put it on their computer or something so they could access it if they get it at work? Or how did you go out of it?
So this is just simply sharing the PowerPoint, right? So you can share a PowerPoint with whoever you want. You just share it. You just simply say, I want to share this with, and they have to have an email. So one of the things that we do, because we are employment, any new client we get, we automatically set up a joint email account. We also set up a joint Indeed account, but that's neither here nor there. But that joint email account, we're able to literally send it to them, and I left my phone over there. But this presentation is literally, I could play it on my phone if I wanted to. I actually played it on my tablet several times last night, getting ready for this. So yeah, and then they have complete access to it wherever they're at. So if you've got somebody who's going to work and they need to be able to do janitorial work and they've got to have a task guide, they can literally pull it up on their phone, and it'll talk them right through it with as much detail as you want to give, by the way. Yeah, go ahead.
So that table is a bunch of that people that were in the job coaching. But the biggest question I've had is for both of you, how Copilot benefit deaf people with low language skill, and how do we implement captioning into the video like you were showing? How do we step by step with the voice? But how do we have to live in the caption ourselves? Do we have to make our own video? As opposed to enable to use this technology and,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I wish I could say that it was really seamless and easy, but Teams will do captions on videos. When you store a video in Microsoft 365, we can do auto captioning. I do want to say it's auto captioning. Teams also has cart access if you actually are fortunate enough to have, to be able to take advantage of cart. I think what you're describing is really interesting and something that I kind of need to look at too. Other aspects of this technology, and we didn't do this today, but it's possible in Windows 11 to turn on system-wide live captioning. So anything that the system hears, it will caption. But how do we take all that material and cohesively put it together? I think that's a very good thing for me to go look at, right? For those kind of workflows. And when you specifically mention Copilot and in this scenario, I will take that and bring it back and put it in my scenarios to make sure that we're accounting for that idea. But it is a very good question. As far as Copilot for language literacy, You know, I'll throw my boss. I'll use my boss as an example. My boss has cerebral palsy. He does not have the physical ability to write a lot of emails, so he tended to send us a lot of video messages because he's very articulate. But now what he does with Copilot is he actually lets Copilot draft his emails, and he basically just gives it a direction, like he was basically talking to a co-writer, right? He's like, go write this email about this. So I think there's really a lot of opportunity in that. And the one thing I will say about like any kind of generative AI, it's important to tell it what kind of tone you want it to have and where you're kind of coming from. So I always tell people, like, you know, if you want to come across as a lawyer, say, I'm a lawyer, write this in a really professional and stern way or whatever. And ChatGPT and Copilot will do that. So I hope that gives you some idea of what's possible. Again, we're at this place where like anything was possible in some weird sort of way. So we do need these stories to like make things real.
And one of the things that's on my list for this is because I've been trying to get it to do translation and just doesn't have it for sign language. But there's a lot of really good sign language apps out there. We just need to get him convinced to let us put them into PowerPoint. And then you'd be able to literally open a window in the bottom and have a translator going literally while we were speaking. So that's something we can work on. It's not there yet, but hopefully soon.
So I have a question about the Copilot stuff. Is there an ability to just really intuitively toggle things that would really ensure confidentiality? So for example, say you're doing this plan and it includes, now we go over the medication plan. So right now we're doing data, stuff like that.
I mean, our Copilot privacy and security policies are the same as anything you would store with us. So I guess the way I want to put it is, if you feel confident storing your documents and that material with us, you should feel confident putting that into Copilot. We never use anything that people enter into Copilot to train our data models. So we're not using your client's information to train our AI. And we're keeping that information in the same secure repositories that you use today.
Anyone else?
I have a good one about Copilot. With Copilot, is it the same as it is with ChatGPT? As I can give examples of my writing, I say, this is an example of my writing, from far to bar.
Right.
Use this. Is that capable? I haven't used Copilot very much, but I'm assuming that's built in. Is that?
I mean, I can't really tell you where Copilot's going. It's not there yet. I think are you talking about like making a custom GPT or using custom instructions?
So like with GPT-4, for example,
right.
I will say, here it is an example of my writing.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
So Copilot will still do
yeah. Yes, Copilot is GPT-4, so yes, it will still do that.
Awesome. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah. Cool. I hope this was, give it up for Max again. I'm so excited.
I didn't create it, I just used it. Yeah, anybody else have a question before we wrap it up? Like I said, if you have any questions or concerns, you can email me, you can grab one of us after this, and we'd love to talk to you. So thank you so much for coming and listening and sharing my passion with you.